Okay, welcome for another installment of Steve's Auto Care. Today we are doing, I'll show you the silhouette of the vehicle. A Ford Explorer. This is a 1997 and it's got the 5-liter in it. And today on this Explorer we're pulling the radiator. And you see that there is a big hole here. Alright, so let's talk about that. So this one you have to recover the freon. Okay, the condenser of the air conditioning comes out with the radiator. There's no way to pull it or separate the two, and I'll show you why in a sec. So you recover the freon. You're going to pull the air boot, the throttle boot, and the mass airflow sensor, which is all that unit there. Okay, and upper radiator hose comes out. Fan comes out, and let's talk about how we get that fan off. Not everybody has access to one of these. Not even most mechanics have one of these. I just use a really long air chisel. I can't even put it, there it goes, on an air hammer. And we'll go over to the fan. I stick it right on the edge of one of the corners of the, I don't know what you want to call that, the bolt. But you slowly, and it'll walk that nut around and start loosening out. Once you get a half a turn, even a quarter turn, all you got to do is just turn the fan blade and it'll unthread. So you take the fan off, then you take your 2 bolts for your shroud out. Okay. Then you're going to loosen your upper trans-cooler line, and you pull the fan and the shroud at the same time. Okay, so that's how you get them out. Then you drop the, I'm pointing to it and it's not there. You drop the lower hose. You take the lower hose off the radiator and finish the drain. I shouldn't have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you that before you start anything, start draining the radiator. All right, then, there we go. There it is. You have this cover here. That's going to be taken off, and that gives you access to the drain cock. So that comes out, and then you can drain it. Once you get the lower radiator hose off, there are 2 lines. There's this guy here and this guy here that clip onto the bottom of the radiator, so you got to disconnect that. Once that gets done, you can pull the radiator assembly out straight up, and there we are. Now let's talk about why we have to pull the condenser out. There is 1 bolt, here it is, that holds that condenser on, but if you look over here on this side, oh, my hand's in the way. Lovely. It slides off the radiator here and here. So you pop this off, and then you slide it out, and the radiator or the condenser will come off the radiator. But there's no other way of doing it because there's not enough room inside the engine compartment to do that procedure. And that is why the book time on this is 3.7 hours, because you have to deal with air conditioning. So, you know, no other way around it. And I don't know of any of these Explorers, especially like this one's an Eddie Bauer. Maybe if you had the cheap one, but if you had the cheap one, you wouldn't get the V8 that came without air conditioning. Okay, so there we are, and that's how we're going to do this job. By the way, the reason why we're changing the radiator, let's see, I don't know if it'll show up on here because I can't see my screen very well. You see the wetness right here? It's leaking from the side tank right at the seal here and here, and there's further down, you can see the wetness there. is leaking from the side tank on this one. So that's why we're changing it. All right, well, there we are. Someone had made a comment on a previous video that he didn't want to watch this because I had already pulled the engine out when I was explaining how to change the radiator out. So he felt that it was unnecessary or not real because I had so much room to pull the radiator out. So here I'm proving, even with a 5 liter, I got the radiator out and showing you why. All right, so anyway, thanks for watching. Steve's Auto Care. We're hanging out of here. Oh look, Mobil 1 oil. Anybody need a Ford factory stereo? Anyway, I will talk to you later, and peace out. Why did I even say that? God, terrible.